In times of chaos, we can always count on the one and only Bill Burr to sound off with a reasonable take for everybody involved. This time he's tackling guns. Let's take a listen.
Oh, I'm going in. I'm fucking, I'm going to be controversial on this one. I'm going to solve the gun problem in the United States of America right now. Why don't you just do it like a pilot's license? You know what I mean? Like when you get a gun, like when you get like a pilot's license, you know, you're flying Cessnas or whatever. You can't just go fucking fly an American Airlines jet. You got to work your way up. You got to get rated. You know, I don't think if you get like a fucking gun license, I think the first thing you should get, regardless of your fucking age, is you get a little 6-shooter. That's all they give you. Or maybe one of those little Saturday night specials. That's you get a little one-shot thing. That's all the fuck you get, right? And then as you work your way up to more and more powerful guns that could potentially do way more fucking damage, you have to pass major psychological evaluation. And if you do, the world is your oyster and you can have whatever fucking weapon you want. How about that? Does that work out for everybody? I wasn't saying take guns away. I wasn't saying this. I wasn't saying that. I wasn't talking about fucking gender neutral Glocks. Just saying, you know, fucking lunatics. Fucking lunatics. At some point, can you not make it easy for a fucking lunatic to oh my God, I don't want to talk about it because it's so fucking overwhelmed. I can't fucking imagine all of those people, what they're going through. It's just, and it just, I don't know. There's people still, I don't know. Just, and I think the left is fucking stupid because then they start yelling at people on the right. Not saying everybody on the right has a gun. Not saying everybody on the left doesn't like guns. I'm just saying like that this fucking thing where you just start yelling at the other side. How about you just go, hey, what if we do this? What if we, try to weed out the bad apples by doing this? As long as you're not, hey, as long as you're not fucking crazy, we'll give you a fucking bazooka, right? And you can take it outside of your backyard and go fucking shoot at something. I don't give a fuck. Someone would have a problem with that. Oh, that's a way to control people. It's a fucking...
All right, so I know how I feel about that. Yeah. I'm good with it. I'm curious how you feel about it.
I mean, look, I appreciate what Bill is saying. I just think that we should obviously balance. Look, the slippery slope is very real, like I pointed to with Canada. But look, I also acknowledge that I'm not in the majority here. Like I know that.
But what's the slippery slope? The slippery slope is we had an assault weapons ban and we don't have it. That's the slope that we're sliding on.
Well, I mean,
towards
I talked about on the
less and less and less and less.
I think the red flag one is a good example, which is that, look, the spirit of the red flag law, definitely support. Anything to stop Nicholas Cruz sounds great. But then it's been used 2,200 times. Is it always going to be used correctly? I mean, I don't know. And here's the thing. We don't actually have very well adjudicated case law. We were talking about red flag has survived some challenges, but has not been directly reviewed yet by the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but we also know, like, the Supreme Court is going to do whatever their ideological predisposition is. So I get sort of frustrated with this whole, like, let's go and analyze what the Constitution and we know that it's ultimately a political project at the Supreme Court. So let's talk about what would actually be good, and then we can see what the ideologues of the Supreme Court ultimately do with it. To me, it's not crazy what Bill is saying there of, like, these are serious weapons. If you are able to pass a test of both, like, technical competence and mental competence, go get whatever you want. AR-15, that's not going to be a problem typically in the hands of someone who's, like, responsible, capable, and mentally sound. But it's a massive, 19 kids dead problem in the hands of this 18-year-old who bought it on his, basically his 18th birthday, who clearly was deranged and had been issuing threats online. And in Texas, even if someone had wanted to do something about it, there was nothing they could do about it.
Actually, I'm much more in favor of the training and the safety requirements because actually, so at DC, for example, you want to conceal carry here, you actually have to go get a certification.
Right.
And I was like, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Now, price is a problem, right? Which is that then it also, and I do think this is an issue, it basically makes it so that the only people who can get guns in DC or New York City are rich people. And I don't think that's right. I mean, you can get one illegally, but then as we talked about, who are those gun charges always hit? It's poor black guys, mostly. And a lot of them are, frankly, the people who need it in order to defend themselves. So you consider that. But then you have to look at it as, I would balance the training, the safety element, as long as those are not the barriers to entry. Because I do think that it's obvious that, you should have some basic level of training, especially if you're going to be carrying concealed carry on your person.
Yeah.
Texas is, the laws there are very, they're very permissive whenever it comes to that. So I think leaning in that direction and not infringing on that and not even have, like red flag, obviously, we could talk about specifics. I still think that it's important to balance the civil liberty. I mean, just anything to prevent government overreach from in the future is where I'm looking at. And I don't think the training and safety do that. Yeah, I actually think they have the opposite.
I think if, and just from like a public appetite perspective, I think if you pulled what he suggested there, I think
I'm sure of you.
I think you'd get a majority of Republicans and an overwhelming majority of Democrats and independents. So, I mean, it's some of these things have sort of been positive before, but I did kind of like the way that he laid it. It was kind of an overarching framework that made sense to me. That also says like, oh, listen, if you get to that level, you like ascend the ranks and have the requisite level of training and mental competence, get whatever you want. It's just, you kind of got to prove yourself and have some level of basic mental sanity and capability with what you are purchasing in order to be able to acquire it. I'm good with that.
At the very least, he made me laugh. All
right, guys. Thanks for watching. More for you later. Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.